Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to hop on here and just have a little discussion about the two videos I posted yesterday of my arrangement of Hold On to Love, A.K.A. Guiding Light closing theme from the CBS soap opera Guiding Light. And so just want to talk about the similarities as well as the differences between the first video and the second video, the 432hz sequel. And so prepare yourself because we are going to have a little bit of nerd talk. Nerd talk. And so my inner nerd is about to come out, so just want to give you guys a little warning. So now, as we all know, music makes us feel good. Whether we're listening to it on the radio or on a CD or on our MP3s or whether we're just sitting down at our instruments and just playing and singing, music makes us feel good. It makes us feel better about ourselves and about life in general, and so for me as a musician, I feel that it's important to give you music lovers, an inside scoop on just how our mind works, both stylistically and sonically. There's a lot going on, and so I feel that, it's important for us to give you just a little bit of an inside scoop on how our process works. And so my process for this particular piece in particular, this arrangement, was, for me, first of all, if I'm going to do any cover piece, to play it as if I wrote it myself. And so I feel it's important for us as musicians, to, play a song as if we wrote it ourselves, meaning that don't waste time, don't try to stress or overwhelm yourself by trying to play the same licks as the original guy, but really playing it as if, you wrote it yourself, playing what feels good to you, play what sounds good to you, and so that pretty much frees your mind from all the stress of trying to mimic or copycat an original, and so I feel it's important, especially if you want to stand out, if you want to stand out of the crowd and not have people try to compare you to somebody else. It's okay to have your influences, it's okay to have people that you look up to in particular, and so it's cool, and so, but at the same time, you really want to carve your own path and have your own style, and so that's the thing, and so that's been pretty much my thing. That's been pretty much my mantra, is to make any song your own, having the balance of the two, of course, doing the writer justice by playing, as it's written, and at the same time, putting little bits and pieces of who you are in a song, as far as improvisation, if you feel that there are instruments that sound good to you that you want to, add to it, do that, and so that's been pretty much my process, and so for this process in particular, as far as the melodic line, the from an instrument's perspective, for me, I felt it was important to have layers, as far as, three different instruments in particular, to help to sing out that melodic line, that melodic phrase. And so for me, starting off with the flute first, I felt was really, I felt would be a good idea because I wanted to start off really nice and pretty, and so I decided to start off with the flutes first and then bringing in a little bit of the thickness of the oboe and then bring in the full fat thickness of the French horn after that. And so I felt it was important to, have those three layers in particular to help kind of, augment the expression and to really sing out that melodic phrase. And so that's how I felt, and from a piano perspective, definitely, making it your own as far as, playing, what sounds good to you, improvisation, and so that's the thing, playing, what sounds good to you. Anything that you invent, anything that you come up with, that sounds good to you, lay it down, play it, and so that's been pretty much my approach to it, stylistically and instrumentally. Now, from a sonics perspective, now, the difference between the first video and the second video, the first one, which was set to 440 hertz, which is the normal, tuning frequency in today's music. And the second video, which was tuned at 432 hertz, just want to talk about these similarities between these two in particular. Now, what I find to be very similar is that, first of all, they both feel good. It's obvious that, music, when we're listening to music, it makes us feel good, of course. And, they both felt good, However, what I noticed about the 432 hertz video was that it kind of took me back to not just the 80s decade, but it also took me back to the 50s and 40s decade from a tuning frequency perspective. And so with that particular frequency in particular, it just, for me, I don't know, it just, something comes over me when I listen to it. And, not just that, but I remember listening to the original song, Hold On to Love, Bill Chinnock and Roberta Flack. And so I was listening to that, and I noticed that it was tuned to 432 hertz. And so as I was listening to it, I found myself closing my eyes. And I felt like I was in another world. And I felt even more relaxed, more at peace as I was listening to it. And so, listening to that particular tuning frequency in particular, it felt 5 times stronger than 440 hertz. And so, I felt it felt like there was a peace that just came over me. It took me to another place. It took me to another world as I was listening to this. And it felt so good as I was listening to it. And so that's what I find to be pretty different, And, it's interesting, learning these kind of things. It's interesting, doing research about these things, about, tuning frequencies. It's interesting about, finding out about these things and what kind of effects that they have, And so it's pretty interesting, and so I like learning stuff like that. I like learning about these different kind of things, They might sound like foreign language to some people, but it sounds pretty interesting to me, and so just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope it makes sense. It made sense to me. I just felt like just sharing it with you guys, and so I hope you got something out of it, and so that's just something I felt, I just felt led to just share and discuss it, and so I hope you guys got something out of it, and thank you so much again for subscribing. I hope that these videos have been a blessing to you and an inspiration to you as well. And so I'm excited to share so much more with you guys. And I also want to encourage you guys to, continue to aspire to be the best that you can be as well. The best musician that you can be. Not just the best musician, but the best you that you can be. Because there's only one you. And nobody can beat you but you. All right? And so, you guys take care. God bless you. Peace.